Good morning everybody, welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video right here on SUI. Wanted to do a full update on SUI right here on the technicals, a little bit about the fundamentals as well. And yeah, just keep you updated on what's going on. I think my last couple of videos have spelled out quite nicely what's going to happen and what has happened. I was correct about a bottom forming right here last Sunday. I was correct about finding resistance here. Although, and I always, if you're new to the channel, I always try to be very honest and transparent. I did think we would be able to spike up a little bit higher. So, for example, you have a fair value gap and some major resistance levels right here, and we spiked down below that, right? We spiked into the trend right here, but we did not fill that imbalance, which to a certain extent is actually good news, because that means that we still have some imbalances here to the upside, which we can fill, or which can work as a bit of a magnet for later. But just to be honest, that I said we would rally a little bit higher. But after that, what I said, to do a bit of a recap, is that I thought it was most likely that right now we're going to get into some sort of a consolidation, and I think that's what's happening. Now, I do want to say that, I think the price action for SUI has been very constructive, right? I mean, we left a major, like, this is a very visible imbalance, a fair value gap right here. We left at 2.6, and you can see that we left that imbalance, and I think I spoke about this, no, I'm not certain. But we moved into that imbalance, got a very good reaction, right? So technically, that is an indication that the price is being constructive, and that it's respecting the consolidating price action. But then, and we also had some good volume with this move right here, so that's good. And there's also some renewed positive sentiment about a potential SUI ETF, for example. So that fundamentally that also helps, and we got some very constructive and good news and good good sentiment about the Solana ETF. So that also that transfers a little bit to other cryptocurrency projects with potential ETFs as well, which I think it's quite likely that if Solana is going to get an ETF, SUI is going to get an ETF as well. I would say it's almost 100%, but who knows when. And then the fundamentals for SUI, I'm not the biggest fan of those in the last month, but obviously a lot of that has been caused by the Cetus hack. So no, the price action is very constructive. However, given the timing right here, with it being summer, given that we had good volume with that one move, like I said, but ultimately the volume is in no shape or form enough to break out. I would say the price action is constructive and it's pretty good, but I do think we'll stay in this range right here, and the range, in my opinion, is forming between $2.95 $3, which we can still spike into. I think it's a possibility for Bitcoin as well that we're going to get a spike up, but spike into that. But a breakout I do not expect, and I think it's more likely that we're going to pull back, and that we could also still test that level right here, around the yearly rolling VWAP at 2.5, especially also with some new fundamental tension. That could happen with the deadlines of those tariffs and trade deals, etc. So all right, that's what I think you need to know. I mean, if there's any news about SUI specifically, that's, I think, is very relevant for the price, I'll let you know. But for now, go enjoy your Sunday. It's enough Cilinix for now. I've told you everything I think you need to know. Be aware of some volatility. Lastly, it's quite low volume right now. So that means volatility increases. So be aware of that in terms of where you set your stop loss, where you set your take profit as well, and don't get caught in a breakout. As long as there's no major volume, a breakout seems unlikely. But those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching. Have a great Sunday, and bye.